Right, we're on to solving rational equations. Okay, so now if you look back and think about when you were adding rational expressions, remember equations have got the equal sign in it. You've actually got to find out what x equals. So think about when we were adding and subtracting rational expressions and you had to look for the lowest common denominator to add them. Well, in some ways you've got to do the same for these solving equations. Because I can see all of these have denominators and I want to try and get rid of them, so if I multiply by the lowest common denominator, they will go, okay? But don't forget you've got to do that to everything. Now, look at question 1. I've got a 3 and a 5 as a denominator, I don't want them, so I'm going to multiply by 15 because that's the lowest common denominator. So here's how you set these up. Right, I've got an x over 3. I am subtracting, I'm going to put a little space here to show you, an x over 5, and that equals, leaving the space there. So there's everything. There's x over 3 minus x over 5 equals 7. And if I multiply everything by 15, okay, there we go, 15, and 15, remember, everywhere, people sometimes forget to do the right hand side, okay? Then, you know, I'm going to clear those denominators. I'm going to get rid of the 3 and the 5. Now, look at the right-hand side. I can actually do that easily right now. 15 times 7 is 105. Okay, so that's that done. Now, the reason why we do this by 15 is, look, and you can put it over 1 if you want to, but 15 times x over 1 times 3. What's 15x divided by 3? It's 5x. But the easy way to do it is just to, like reducing fractions, just cancel. Divide by 3, I get 5. Divide by 3, that's gone. Okay, I get a 1. So what's left here is just 5x over 1. It's just 5x. So the dogs are playing with a toy. Rosie. God, no. Right, again here, minus. Right, what's 15 times x over 1 times 5? 15x over 5 is 3x. But again, just do it quickly like this. Okay, that'll give you 1. Divide by 5 gives you 1. Divide by 5 gives you 3. Okay? So you can see I'm just left here with 3x over 1, which is just 3x. So that's the reason why we did it by 15. I've cancelled that 3 on the bottom and the 5 on the bottom. Okay, and you have to do the little multiplications to sort out the final problem. And here it is. 5x take away 3x is 2x. That equals 105. You divide both sides by 2. Both sides by 2. Basically, there's the answer. You don't have to reduce it if you don't want to. That's fine. 105 over 2. It's 52.5, is it? But that's fine. Okay, so I multiplied everything by 15 because that was the lowest common denominator. Now, let's have a look at the next one then, question 2. I'll do the same thing again. As I'm erasing this, just look at it. So you've got a 16 and an 8 and another 8. So the lowest common denominator is 16. They will both go into 16. Don't try and multiply the two together and get some huge number. All right, 15 was the lowest common denominator for question 1. It's just 16 for this. They'll both go into 16. Don't think of greatest common factors like 2s and 4s and 8s, alright? The lowest common denominator is 16. So I'm going to multiply everything by 16. 16 is going to be multiplied by the x over 16. Minus, again, 16 is going to be multiplied by the 5 over 8. And that equals, again, 16 is multiplied by the x minus 8 all over 8. Okay, so there we go. There's the setup. I haven't really done anything yet, but just written 16 next to all 3 terms. All right? Right. Here we go. 16, 16. Straight away, cancel. It's gone. It leaves me with x. That was nice and straightforward. Minus. Now, again, think about this. You don't have to multiply 16 times 5 and then divide it by 8. The whole reason why we've done this, just look at these. The reason why I put a 16 there was to cancel the 8. Okay, that's a 1, that's a 2. I'm just left with 2 times 5 over 1 times 1, but 1 times 1 is 1. So I'm just left with 2 times 5 is 10. Alright. Okay, so that's what I got for multiplying 5/8 by 16, 10. Now again with this one, on the right hand side, don't do the distributive law with the 16. Don't try and do this. You're going to make it much harder. The reason why the 16's there is to go cancel that, divide it by 8, I get 1, divide it by 8, I get 2. And that will be the thing I use the distributive law with. And it's much easier. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times negative 8 is negative 16. Now, finally, I've got to something nice and basic, no denominators, it's just straightforward solve for x. Now remember guys, there's no x squareds here, alright? You're just solving for x, so there's no put everything equal to 0, which is what we do with x squareds and x cubed. You know, when we're solving, put it equal to 0. This is just x is one side, numbers on the other, what does x equal? I don't see any x squared. Straightforward, solve for x. Right. I'm going to bring the x's over onto the right because I see more there. I would rather do this. Take away x, so it's gone. Take away x, 2x, take away 1x is just x. Still got the negative 16 over here on the right, still got the 10 over here on the left. Okay? Again, leave that where it is. Okay, the x. I'm going to add a 16. Add a 60. Oh, wait a minute. That's negative 10, sorry, folks. Missed that. Okay, there it is. Alright. Add a 16 to negative 10, and you're going to get x, remember that's gone, remember, equals 6. Alright, and right there is the answer. X equals 6. Okay, so that's it. I just multiplied everything by 16. You've got to know how to do that, of course, you know, to kind of reduce things down. And you get a nice, simple solve for x. X is 6. Okay, I'm sure there's more complicated ones than that, but right now that is just multiplying everything by a number. Okay.